Hi, my name is Anton, I'm a product designer, and today I'm inviting you to talk about the most promising modern browser, Comet. I was extremely excited when I first heard about it. A browser merged with AI can be an outstandingly powerful tool. I used Comet for a while and it has some great functionality. An assistant that can work with web pages on your behalf, the integrated Perplexity engine that can search the web and answer questions, and of course the familiar interface that makes it pretty easy to start working with Comet. But today I want to talk to you about something different. I want to talk to you about 3 big moves that could make Comet skyrocket. The first thing I've mentioned when I started using the browser was the number of places when you can enter your request. Of course, the URL field with voice input, the standard Perplexity field with voice input, the AI assistant with voice input, and you won't believe it, a voice mode. And to be fair, I clearly understand the reasons behind the necessity of all those different inputs. You can't just get rid of URL, and a lot of people used to enter their request there. You can't remove the famous already Perplexity input because it's like a signature element of it. It's part of their identity, and it's nice to have an assistant when you're working on something on a website. So all of this is completely logical and I'm afraid completely wrong. Every time I want to make a request, I have to think about which control should I use. And even before that, I need to experiment and figure out what each control does and how they differ. It's like driving a rental car. You can drive it, but pairing it with your phone somehow requires a whole customer support department. And there is no good compromise here. The input should be single. It should be the standard Perplexity input, always visible, floating above an open page. And yes, it will cover a small part of a page, but I see a dynamic island on my phone every day and it works just fine. The next is voice input. Every request field has its own input, as you saw before, and that's actually the problem. There are a lot of inputs and some of them even work differently. How could it be? Well, the best option would be always listen an assistant. Of course there is a privacy concern, but it's not as bad as you might think. Hundreds of millions of people are using Alexa every day and they aren't too concerned about it. Imagine lying on a sofa and casually chatting with your browser about the matter you're researching without even moving a finger. Pretty nice. I believe we are at the age of a new era of voice interfaces, not the old versions like Siri that kind of understood you and couldn't do much. I mean, a well-made modern voice interface is utilizing the full power of neural networks. It will be a breakthrough that fundamentally changes how we will use browsers. But sadly, we aren't quite there yet. The last thing is spaces. The problem of structuring history and bookmarks in browsers is quite old. Many companies approached this problem and I think none of them really succeeded because all of them asked users to organize everything by hand. The work is boring, time-consuming, and nobody really wants to do it. And frankly speaking, Spaces hasn't gone too far from its predecessors. Meanwhile, today we have tools that understand context and can clusterize things easily. In other words, all your history, search, requests and bookmarks could be easily managed by an LLM, and if the machine makes a mistake, This is where the voice interface will shine. Just tell the system what went wrong instead of doing manual rearrangements and check the result. It's simple like that. I was thinking about all of this, and I think is that Comet design was heavily influenced by engineers. And as an engineer myself, I can totally understand this. But as a designer, I can't agree with the approach. I want to push the bar much higher and much further. Slightly updated Chromium is not a breakthrough, to be honest, but a browser utilizing the full potential of LLMs is. To sum up, it's a great start, but there are huge opportunities here, and I hope the team will take them. And one last note. When I criticize, I always suggest improvement, so please check this video.